All right, everybody, welcome back to the Culture Shocks podcast. We have another great guest this week, Adrian Gee, the YouTuber, Facebook content creator extraordinaire.
Used to the camera. For sure,
exactly.
as you can tell.
Exactly. So how long have you been in Sweden, Adrian?
So been here in Sweden. All right. So I first came last summer, and I spent basically the entire summer in Sweden, so the 3 months. And the reason being is basically because obviously Corona happened last year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And my plan was to travel around Europe and pretty much just travel, do a bunch of different countries and stuff like that.
Nice.
And then at the first stop was Finland, and literally a month after, Corona was going, like, it was insane here. And so everything was closing, and I was like, shit. And I was like, well, okay. And like my sister's calling me. She's like, hey, like, just so you know, the flights to Australia, like the airports are closing like this coming weekend. So if you're gonna come back, you should come back now. Yeah. And so I'm thinking about it. I'm like, like how long could this actually last? Like, I'll wait it out for a couple of months and it'll be fine, And literally, like, I'm sitting in Finland, and the thing is, I was in Helsinki, the main city, and which is super cool city, kind of similar vibes to Stockholm, and I ended up going to the north of Finland to see the northern lights and stuff, and then I wanted to go back to Helsinki, but they shut down the Uusimaa region, which is a region in, like, Helsinki is in the Uusimaa region. So there's like 3 main cities. It's like Helsinki, Vantaa, Espoo, and they're all in this region. And so they shut that down, so I was actually stuck in the middle of Finland, like literally in the middle of Finland, in a city called Tampere.
Wow.
And it was like so empty, dead town. And so I was like, okay. And my mate from Estonia was with me at the time, and he was heading back to Estonia, and I had a friend here, and I was like, hey, so how is Stockholm right now? Like, cause like all these other countries are like closed, and I want to leave Finland, I want to go somewhere else. And they're like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty normal here. Like, nothing's changed. I was like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, but like, apparently they're thinking of doing restrictions. And this was actually a month before I left Finland. And then I was like, okay, Sweden's probably going to go into restrictions as well. But then a month passes, and I ask him again, and same answer. Yeah, everything's normal, but like the government's thinking of doing restrictions. I was like, okay, I don't care. I'm going to take the risk. Cool. So I had to Stockholm, and dude, as soon as I arrived, it's like, it was like summer, right? So I go out onto, into Sodermalm, and we're going out to bars and stuff. We're shooting content there, and it was just so much fun. Like, everything's open. The bars were open. Like, there's people out and about. Like, everyone's like, not wearing masks. And the thing is, like, when you're meeting people, especially when you're traveling, right? And you want to meet people, like, it's difficult to meet someone if they're like covered up. You can't see their emotions.
It's a different thing, for sure.
It's totally different.
Sure,
So I came last summer. I spent 3 months in Stockholm.
So did you get in June or what? Like June-ish?
So I got in around. So I was May, June, July. And then I left August to travel around for a bit around Europe.
That's perfect timing, though.
Yeah.
For anybody that wants to visit Sweden.
Kudos.
No wonder you came back. This place is awesome.
So, and then I went traveling around with one of my mates. He's also Swedish. I met him while I was here, and because I was traveling by myself, he was like, "Oh yeah, like if you want, I'd be down to travel as well." I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go."
Yeah.
And so we went to Germany, Austria, Poland, Portugal, and then after Portugal he went back to Sweden, and I was actually going to continue traveling. So after Portugal, I actually went to Spain to catch up with one of my friends from Miami. So he like has his family have like a villa, like a family, like a summer house or whatever. Sweet. Nice. And so I linked up with him in Marbella, and it was super nice, super lit. He went back to Miami, and then I was like, okay, like everything's like closing, and like I don't want to be traveling around. Not only is it going to be cold, raining. Like, can you imagine like you're traveling like from city to city, like catching buses, planes, and you have a massive like suitcases, and it's just pissing down with rain, and it's like, all right,
I can't see that. Yeah.
I was like, all right, I want to chill. I want to like go somewhere and chill for the winter.
Yeah.
So then I came back to Stockholm.
Nice.
In December. So I've been here since December. So
different city, yeah.
Dude, yes.
Because we went into shutdown in December, right? We went into not shutdowns, but like big time restrictions, but more than the summer.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't know.
She's like, wait, what? It's dark. There are masks everywhere.
I just thought the darkness was just insane to me.
Yeah.
Like I arrived and it was like entire December. It was just super dark.
Yeah.
But it was a different experience. You know, it was just different.
It's so weird with the daylight because I feel like in the wintertime I'm always tired.
Yeah.
Because the sun doesn't come up to like 10, 11, you know, and it's going down so early that I just want to sleep. And then in the summer, I never want to sleep.
I'm the same. I was waking up at sunrise at like 5:30 a.m. over the past couple of days.
Same.
And I'm like, let's go, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person and I'm getting up at 5 a.m.
Like, I'm going to bed at like say for example, like Thursday. I think it was Thursday, and no, maybe it was Thursday night or something. I went out and then I went to bed at like 1 a.m. or something, 2 a.m. and then I woke up at like 5:30 because it was just like light outside.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, let's go, like let's start the day.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, and in the winter, it's like you just.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the dark. It's insane how much the light and the darkness actually affects you.
Yeah.
And me growing up here,
Yeah.
It's really. I mean, you can definitely tell like people's mood in November versus May. Like it's everyone is sort of like hopeful and happy in May and like want to do stuff and barbecues and like everyone's out. But in November, like everyone just goes about their own business and they're just like. Not really too social and like just really, it's insane how much it affects you.
In Sweden, in the darkness in the wintertime, you can literally like walk by a friend and you would never know because it's so pitch dark. Yeah. And they're like fully like with the fur around and their heads down. Literally. So that's why people don't say hi to each other because you're like, there's.
Can you imagine like up north, like even further north? When in December it's like dark 24/7.
Yeah.
Like
I just had somebody send me a message today. They still have snow.
Yeah.
And we're at the end of May.
That's insane.
Up in Kiruna, right?
Yeah. A little further south.
But also on the flip side, like midsummer in Kiruna, for instance,
it's like 24/7 sun.
The sun never sets.
Yeah,
That would be insane. Imagine just partying throughout
the.
the.
Dude, it's like that's one thing. Like the midsummer holiday is so sick. Like it's actually like because I was here for that last summer, right? And it's like. It's just a massive party, like everyone's just like happy, it's good vibes, it's like, it's really cool, man. And like, you don't have anything like that in Australia. Like you don't have like the sun like up for so long, even though it's like, in my head, it's like the sun was up 24 hours because even when the sun did set, it was still like light.
Still light out,
Yeah. So it's like, it's just so crazy for me, like, coming from Australia. And I'm sure for you, for the first time as well, coming from the US, right?
And I'm from the Northwest, so you think, like, we're almost up by Canada, but then you look at the map, and, like, Sweden's on the same latitude as Alaska.
Yeah.
So it's, like, the next level.
Way up there, man.
Yeah, we're way up there.
Where in Australia are you from?
I'm from Adelaide, South Australia.
Oh, Adelaide, yeah. Nice.
But I was living in, like, Melbourne for a bit.
Melbourne is nice.
Melbourne's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love Melbourne. Yeah,
why?
Like a few days. I don't know.
A few days?
Yeah, well, I went down the East Coast. I went from Brisbane down there.
Okay, because I was gonna say if you went all the way to Australia from Sweden just for a few days, like
nah.
there's something wrong with you.
Just a quick weekend,
I know.
Gotta seize the day.
You spent
it was November here, and I was like, "Fuck this."
You spend 30 hours to get there.
Yeah.
You don't even have time to adjust to the jet lag.
Yeah.
3 days, and it's like, all right, peace. Going back home.
It was a great session.
But with that being said, it's like when it comes to like flying and how it takes so long. I mean, we're gonna get to a point where it's only gonna take like 30 minutes to fly from like one side of the world to the other side.
Have you heard rocket ships?
Yeah, have you heard of the interplanetary like transportation system? It was like, what was it again?
I've heard about it, but I wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Did you see the video though?
No.
Is this an Elon Musk thing?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. When it was like New York to Paris.
30 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Dude, that's insane.
Insanity.
Dude, would you be nervous to fly on a rocket ship? Though?
Yeah.
Like,
I love it, man.
I'm not going on the first voyage.
Like, what do they know lunch on board? Like, what?
Like, we have people that can't even handle vaccines,
I
bro.
know.
You gonna put these same people on a rocket ship?
Like, what do you mean AstraZeneca? Don't put that shit in my body.
It's like I don't even know how your body would react like going into a rocket ship, because you have all these astronauts, they have to train for so long to like get their body used to.
Dude, if you got a train to go to Paris, just take a fucking normal flight.
It's like time-wise, like you gotta spend 6 months training, and then you gotta spend a lifetime saving up for the ticket.
And
then you're like, oh, this is the best 30 minutes of my life, man.
Yeah, seriously. But it's like I heard that they're gonna try and make it cheaper than like an ordinary international flight.
Really?
Yeah.
And how are they gonna do that?
Because the rockets are reusable.
Yeah.
That's
'cause you can.
So that's
right.
that's literally the reason that they're going to be able to make space travel a thing, and even like space tourism. Like they saw like a Japanese billionaire. He's going to like do a round trip to the moon or something in like 2 years. Did you hear about that?
No.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
like, I have billions of dollars.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, people are starting, but
So what he wants to do is he wants to take like 8 people with him for free, but they have to be artists, and basically basically he wants them to create something, like, because he believes art is so like it's something very unique and very like to like life, right?
Yeah.
It's like it brings like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
no,
like,
you're in circles now, bro. No, but I know what you're saying.
But it's
really
like
cool,
it's like if you look at some of the greatest masterpieces, it's like a lot has come from like having inspiration from like the moon, right? So it's like if you look at like Beethoven Moonlight song, whatever it is, the piece, and then a couple of other things. So his thoughts are like, okay, imagine like actually seeing the moon up close. Like, how much inspiration would you have to create a masterpiece, and then bring that stuff back to Earth and just create like masterpieces. Yeah, so that would be interesting.
But it's insane, like, because I've seen videos of them trying to like land a rocket ship, right? So you can reuse it, and there's like it's been tens. Like 15, 20 rockets like upon landing. So I wouldn't be opposed to like just going on the rocket ship, but the landing, I'll be so nervous for the landing.
Me too.
Obviously it would be mad secure, but still, it's like you're landing a rocket ship. No one's done that basically.
Like even, I mean, with flights, I'm kind of like when I'm on a flight, when it's like anytime it's descending and landing, or anytime it's taking off, in my head I'm like, because dude, it's like, I don't know, like sometimes I just watch like random like airplane crashes just before boarding a flight.
Of course you are.
Just before boarding a flight.
Just prepare for any eventuality.
And it's like, and the thing is, like, literally like 95% of airplane crashes, they actually happen either before takeoff or landing. So it's like,
cool.
I mean, it makes sense though as well. How, I mean, what is a
That's
plane?
the risky part.
I mean, the only other like way it could like go wrong or something if a missile gets shot at your plane, So
which like happened like a year ago. Do you remember? Did you see
Like
that?
when a bird flies into
where was that? Well, it was a Ukrainian plane, right? And it was flying through.
Shot down. I think it was. What country was it?
Russia?
No, not Russia. No.
It was like
and it was
one
like
of the Middle Eastern countries.
Was it Iran? Could have been Iran.
Yeah,
it was Iran.
I think it was like.
Pretty sure it was Iran, and they were like, "Sorry, we like."
They were like, "Sorry, we thought it was a missile." Like the dude who shot the missile at the plane, he was like, "Yeah, we thought it was a missile." Bro, that's a big. Dude, like.
Oh, bro, it's an airplane.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Dude, see, that's why I would be worried flying to like go home to Australia, because you're passing some sketchy area. Like when I go back to the US, like, is Iceland gonna bomb us? Nobody's coming for us.
Dude,
but even like I would be skeptical about flying from like countries like like Africa or like third world countries, right?
Yeah.
Because like if you look at some of the accidents that happened recently, it was like, the whole Boeing Air Max 737 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there was a massive crash in Indonesia, then one in Ethiopia, and like I was watching like documentaries on this, and it was like it was American pilots talking, being like, yeah, they could have like stopped it, like I don't know, but it's like Yeah, I mean, imagine like going onto a plane. Did you know like much about the airplane, like the 737 Max? Did you know the bug? Did you know the bug? No. So it was basically like it was a computer bug, and basically what it did, it thought the plane was gonna stall and it was up when it was actually normal, and so when a plane is gonna stall, it usually brings it down to level it out, but because the plane was already leveled out and the signal was saying that it's up, it just went boom, like literally, and it was just accelerating into like, dude, it's scary.
And the pilots couldn't override it.
No, because they weren't trained. So they only had like a little booklet. And the thing is, they only had 5 seconds to complete all the operations. So by the time they go from one thing, and they're like, okay, this, all right, next thing, 5 seconds already passed, and it's like overriding them.
Yeah.
And was there passengers on there too?
Yeah, dude.
Dude. Massive. Yeah.
Massive.
A lot of people died.
A lot of people died, man.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, like, man, it's...
They just sued
Was
the
there
shit
any
out of
survivors?
What was that?
No survivors.
No, dude.
No, dude, you go nose down on the ground.
Bro, you die within like within a blink.
Yeah.
You're dead. Like you're looking at, I don't know how fast it was going, but like probably like something like 600 miles an hour.
Imagine the feeling while you're dropping.
Well, I was thinking that as well, because like I was watching like a documentary on it, and it's like they would like do a simulation of it, and it's just like, imagine like just like literally down how scary.
Would you pass probably out? 3 or 4 minutes. Would you pass out? Like if you like, I guess from all the forces, would just going straight down really fast.
Because of the G-force. Hey?
G-force, and then you panic and you drop in altitude really fast. I think a lot of people pass out.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully they did.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy how that's like.
I wonder how long of it was. Probably 3 or 4 minutes. Probably, I'm guessing.
The drop, yeah, probably. I know the one in the Ethiopian airline. It was like it literally happened within. But the thing is, it happened 9 minutes in, right? But before the 9 minutes, like literally within about 4 minutes, it was literally like this up, down. The pilots were like battling the plane, so it was literally up. So the passengers would have been like, "What the hell is happening? Yeah. Something's wrong." Yeah, and then it's like down, up, like because when they looked at the stats at the altitude, it was like literally like. So it's like those passengers, man. It would have been like.
But I would believe that there are a lot of things that a pilot can't override just to delete like the human error. Of plane crashes and stuff. But
because that's the thing. It wasn't a human error. It was like it was a software.
Yeah, So when that errors, it's like well, we're fucked.
And on top of that, the pilots supposedly weren't even trained on this. They weren't actually told that there was this thing. They weren't told that this new software was in there. And then once it's activating, they're like, okay, what is this? Okay, this is this. What is this? Let's check the book and let's see what this is. And by the time they're looking at it, it's like...
it's hard to read when you're going straight down. Wouldn't the safest thing to do be like give every passenger like a parachute under there? You know what I mean?
That's what I
like. Just pop the window and jump.
That's what I was just thinking.
What are we gonna do with this slide?
Yeah. I know.
Every passenger have the capacity of like just inflating like a parachute or something like mid-flight. Obviously, the human error becomes huge because can you imagine how many
people are getting tangled up in like parachutes and stuff?
Yeah, but you got a higher chance of survival.
Also, what normal person knows how to operate a parachute?
Yeah. There's one
like
thing, man.
Have you been skydiving?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
New Zealand, yeah.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I've been skydiving twice, and like it's a lot of fun. But like a lot of people haven't been skydiving.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine like you wouldn't know. Like I mean, even if you have been like. You probably did a tandem jump where you're like connected to someone.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know how to operate the parachute. I mean, you think it's easy. It probably is.
It's like the time that you have to pull it right.
And then just the process of putting it on. In a secure manner when it's going nose down.
I just want a fighting chance. All right, I don't care. Like if I'm gonna die in the crash, give me a last chance.
I like your creativity. I just don't think you're gonna get a ticket on the space shuttle to the moon with the Japanese doing it, man. I just don't.
Do you think like like, how would that even work? I mean, okay, let's say you get a parachute onto the plane, right? You're like, all right, I don't want to die, just in case. Let's bring a parachute and just have it as your carry-on baggage, right?
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
You're just freaking out. Oh, it might be a rough one, boys.
and then like the plane's going down, doing sketchy shit, and then you're like, all right, put my parachute on. Then what? What
You should
do you do
dress
then?
up in full Call of Duty Warzone ghillie suit. Go on the plane.
What do you do then? Like, you can't open the door because of the pressure.
Yeah.
Right? What do you do? Like, you can't open the door. There's so much pressure.
You'll figure it out, man. Adrenaline, all right? I'll just bust the roof open. I don't care. I'm gonna live. All right.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's paddle back to something about culture and shocks, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, sweet, perfect, cool.
Swedish planes versus Australia.
I have a question. All right. So it's interesting because you spent a lot of time in Finland and Sweden. So apart from Sweden being open and Finland not being open, what did you think about like as people? Would you say we're really, really similar, or would you say Swedes are like?
I would say no. I think they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're pretty similar. There's like not too many differences. I don't think so. And I kind of like when I visited Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Iceland, Finland, they're like the people are relatively the same. Just the accents are different. I think
language in Finland is way different.
Oh yeah.
Different branch.
Dude, the Finnish Swedish is kind of hard to understand.
I do think like definitely like probably of the like say for example Finland and Sweden definitely has like the Swedish people, their English is really good.
Yeah.
Finnish people I've met, it's not bad, but like
it's not good.
It's not good. Yeah. It's I went to the north and if you go in the main city, you can usually their English isn't too bad, right?
Yeah.
But then if you go outside, it's like they don't know any English.
Yeah.
You know. But other than that, it's pretty similar. It really,
Interesting, yeah.
like the people.
We're palish. It's cold, dark.
Yeah, I think like Finnish people are a lot shorter though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it less Viking DNA?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Finland used to be a part of Sweden like 200-300 years ago.
Something like that. Someone in the comment like posted a big ass comment about this. So we probably should know this.
I love your comments, but the Harry Potter novels are hard to read sometimes.
But hey, we still appreciate them.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
But,
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So have you been to Norway or Denmark?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I really like Norway.
Yeah.
I really like Norway. And the reason for that is I'm a really big fan towards like mountains and like rivers and like hiking.
Cool.
And so when I went to Norway, have you been to Norway?
Actually, no. I haven't.
No. You have to visit.
Yeah.
To visit.
Yeah.
No, I want to go.
Fjords.
I was actually going to go to Norway after because I was in Gothenburg before Stockholm because I went to Gothenburg probably 3 weeks ago. I spent about 5 weeks there, and
nice.
I was actually going to leave Sweden and go to Norway for like maybe I don't know how long, maybe a month or 2 months or something.
Cool.
I would have seen, but so. There's a place I went to. There's 2 places I went to in Norway, and one place is called. It's near Stavanger. Stavanger.
Yes.
Yeah, it's near there.
Yeah.
It's called Prekelstollen or something like that.
Oh, it's the super tall cliff-looking rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Exactly
So the cliff-looking rock. It's like a rock cliff.
Yeah. I see it on Instagram all the time.
Yeah. So I went there and. The hike was amazing, and when I was road tripping from basically Bergen to Oslo, so we went to that place, then we went back to Stavanger, and then from Stavanger we went to Bergen, and then we rented a car from Bergen and we went to Oslo, and we stopped off at this other hiking place called Trolltunga. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I've seen all the.
It's probably the most beautiful one. Like, Because I have quite a bit of reference experiences, like when it comes to like hiking and exploring different locations, especially when it comes to beauty. Like for example, Iceland, I think Iceland's up there when it comes to like beautiful landscapes. Hawaii's up there. It's really beautiful. And when I went to this place, Trolltunga, I did the hike. It's funny because me and my friends were road tripping from Bergen to Oslo, and we had to return the car the next day. And we arrive at this hike at Trolltunga at about 5 p.m. And so I'm wearing shorts, tank top, I have this little water bottle. My mates have nothing, right? They're just like, all right, let's go. Like, because I basically planned it. I was like, we have to go here. And so we're at the start, we're just about to go up, and these people are like looking at us and they're like, where are you going? We're like, we're going to hike. We're going to the top. What are you talking about? Like, how was it? We're like, how was it?
What do you think? What are we doing? Like, what are you,
and they're coming down with like massive backpacks, like these sticks and stuff. And we're like, how was it? Like, yeah, it's super beautiful, but do you know how long how long it takes to get there? Like, nah. What, like 2 hours? Like, nah, it's about a 10 to 12 hour round trip. And we're like, oh, okay, we were not prepared.
So you research were like,
dude, we were not prepared, but we were there. We were there. Like, the thing is, if we wouldn't have done that, I would be looking back at this moment and being like, why didn't we like do that hike?
So you did it.
So we did the hike, right? We got to the top at about. We got to the top at around 10 p.m. 10:30 p.m. and it was super beautiful. Oh my gosh, the views, super beautiful. And then we got some pictures, and we just took it in. We stayed up there for about 30 minutes to an hour. It was getting really cold, so then we headed back down, and we basically jogged down, get back to the car at around 2 a.m. And then we drive from there, which was the middle of Norway, back to Oslo because we had to return the car the next morning. It was insane. Like, imagine hiking for like 10 hours, literally driving all day, getting there, hiking for 10 hours, and then driving again. And like we weren't prepared at all. So it's like even the water bottle was super small. But it was a lot of fun, and I definitely don't regret that experience. You know?
I did a hike in New Zealand unprepared, but that was like maybe a 5-hour round trip, and I had like running shoes on, and I only had like a small water bottle, right? But still, like a 12-hour round trip sounds insane.
Yeah, it was intense. It was intense.
That's cool. So to shift from Norway back to Sweden, because Sweden.
Okay.
Right.
I think. The people are all very similar. And, the languages are even similar. Like,
they are.
It's like Swedish people, they should be able to understand Norwegian, right? They should be able to understand Danish, maybe?
I would say I understand Norwegian pretty well. Danish, not at all.
Norwegian's kind of in the middle between the two, right?
Ish, yeah. We say that Norwegians to sound like high Swedes, and Danish sounds like really, really drunk Swedes. And just put your tongue out.
That happened to me the other day in Varberg. I heard some people speaking, and I asked my friend, I was like, is that Danish? And they're like, no, they're just drunk Skåne guys. I was like,
That's classic. Classic.
But if I were to pick, when it comes to Scandinavia and then Finland as well, I would actually I wouldn't mind maybe doing some cross living, like not cross country, how you can split between borders and countries and live because in the US I have friends that live in LA and New York, so it's I wouldn't mind living in Sweden and in Norway, doing 3 months in a country, 3 months there, and I mean, because right now I'm not really prepared to fully settle down. I still want to travel a bit. I am kind of over it, but I've considered it. Sweden, and Norway would be my top picks.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So you've traveled a lot though. Out of all the countries you live in, you must think that's a pretty special thing that's going on here.
For sure.
You would choose to live here.
For sure. Yeah. And it's the reason I decided to kind of I'm basically settled down here during this whole Corona pandemic, and the reason for that is because
we don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, it's open, it's free, but the country also has like their shit together. The system here is really good. It's a really safe country. It's safe. It's nice. It's.
What do you miss the most about Australia?
The beaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. The beaches, the water.
I bet.
Yeah, like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But it's either I either need nature and like lakes or like beaches or like mountains.
Yeah.
Like I need one of those two.
You need Mother Nature.
Sweden has so many lakes though.
Yeah.
Like you take the train to any other city in Sweden.
Yeah.
It's like if you go through America, it's like it's just weeds. It's like lake.
Yeah. Finland is actually called the land of 1,000 lakes. So Finland is actually known for like
probably more than 1,000.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
But we also have a lot of lakes here.
Yeah, and a lot of forests. Because I did a road trip from Stockholm to Gothenburg. So this was Easter weekend, and my contract with the place I was staying at, it was expiring. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna head to Gothenburg for a month.
Sweet.
And so I was actually going to catch a train, but everything was booked out. So my only other option was, because I already booked an Airbnb, I had to get there. So I booked I rented a car, and so I took a car and I road trip to Gothenburg, and it was really beautiful, man. Like the scenery was really beautiful, like
really nice.
Forests, lakes. Especially, I got to a point where I was like along the coast, and it was just beautiful. It was like
right before Jönköping. I know exactly.
Yeah. So I was by the coast, and it's like you're going down, and like just to the right, you have this like beautiful, all this water, and so beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a super long lake, like right in the middle.
Yeah.
And you're like driving next to a lake for like an hour.
Yeah.
There's a bike race that goes around the lake called Vätternrund, or Vätternrundan, and it's like it's 300-kilometer bike race. every summer, and I'm actually supposed to be on it, but I don't know.
I remember your parents got you a bike for Christmas or your birthday one year. I was like, your parents trying to tell you something?
Let's go, dude. But so that's cool. But yeah, it is beautiful for sure. Do you have plans for Midsummer?
So potentially. So it's either. So I have a friend that I was telling to come to Sweden, and I was like, yo, you got to come to Sweden. He's American Australian, and I was like, yo, you got to come to Sweden. Come for Midsummer, it'll be so lit. And then he responded being like, yeah, I'd be down. And his sister was telling him that I think he would come with his sister, and basically they were saying, oh, we should go to Malmstrand. Near Gothenburg. It's like an island, and it's like is it? I don't know if it's good, but there's that option. But then there's also Gotland, which
I would probably go for Gotland, to be honest. Because Marstrand, it's nice. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done it 100%. But it's like it's for really wealthy, like the rich families and fancy boats and just queues and it's really popular. And I drove out there once, and it was like queues on queues, and there was no parking space, so we left.
Gotcha.
But it might be great. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But Gotland is beautiful.
Yeah, because I met these people yesterday. They were Swedish, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to Gotland for Midsummer. You should come with us." And I was like, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's awesome, dude.
We'll see.
Dude, the first time I ever came to Sweden was like 2 days after Midsummer. I was gonna come for Midsummer because I was dating a Swedish girl at the time, and she's like, "Oh, I already know I was gonna come," and she was like, "Oh, I'm already hosting like all these German girls, and we're not gonna have enough space at the house."
I'm like, babe.
It's like, what do you mean? I was like, okay, so I was like, I got friends in Germany. I'll just go hang out in Germany while you're in Sweden, and I didn't know what I was missing because I'd never been to Sweden before. And then I'm like, it was Midsummer the day I flew to Germany. And I was super jet lagged. It was like a 26-hour trip. I like landed in Munich and was taking a train to like northern Germany. And I'm like on the train, just like tired. And you know, like when you've been flying for like 24, 25, you start to get to that like emotional level. You're like, you just like feel like emotions you didn't know you had because you've been traveling for so long. And then meanwhile, I'm FaceTiming them, and they're just like running around. It's like the craziest midsummer party I've ever seen. People are running around naked, like just chugging vodka, like jumping in the pool, like the sun's still up. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, why am I sitting on a train in Germany? I was so upset. And then every single year midsummer comes around, I'm like, this is the year. Everybody's going to be naked. We're going to be running around, jumping in the pool. Like, it's always lit, but it's like never as lit as this one that I missed. It's like the mystical midsummer that never quite reaches that epic level.
All right, guys, we try to keep this podcast to about half an hour, and I think we were pretty close, but there's definitely a lot more to unfold here. So I'm pretty sure we will try and have you on another episode.
Yeah, and we're also doing some videos on our main channels as well, so we can connect.
Yeah, they are. I don't have a channel, but
we gotta get Frederick on my channel at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a while. So.
No, thanks a lot, Adrian.
No worries.
And we'll link his thing in the description. Not that he needs it, but we will.
All right.
All right.
See you guys. Cheers.
Peace.